Hello again, folks. It's Barry with Barry's 8-track and classic car radio repair, and tonight's demonstration is going to be on a quadrasonic Ford unit. It was quadrasonic, but we've done a conversion on it. This is to the customer reports that the car it came out of is a '78 T-Bird. The unit says Lincoln on it, so I don't really know what to make of that, but I have confirmed that I've got the guy's serial number, and it is the radio that he sent in, so that's not an issue. And the radio, this unit was sent in for poor FM reception, which is pretty typical of this type of unit, and because of parts availability issues and other factors, I generally don't even try to. I have tried in the past to realign the FM section on this type of radio, and even my friends at other shops say that there's just really no point in trying to do it. They're just pretty much far gone and worn out, and because of parts availability issues, they generally can't be repaired very well. So we've done a conversion on this. Now, on the issue of conversion, first off, I'll say this: this unit comes from Dennis in St. Simons Island, Georgia. I generally don't try to preserve the quad function for a few different reasons. The first reason is that though the conversion module does have 4 discrete speaker amplifiers, it only has 2 input channels, so you would actually need to install 2 conversion modules to preserve the quad function on the 8-track section. That would be about an extra $300. And it's just not practical considering how expensive quad tapes are these days for the customer to be, they really need to be treated with kid gloves, and I can't imagine, hauling a quad tape around in a car, possibly leaving it in place in the dash and, all that. It's not a real practical thing to do, especially considering the extra costs involved. So what I do is I modify the head switching on this unit so that it will work only in stereo mode, so that it'll play 95% of all 8-track tapes a customer would be using. And the only drawback is that you lose the true quad function, which on a car unit really isn't going to be much of an issue anyway. If you're a collector, you know how much you pay for quad 8-track tapes, and probably don't want to be probably don't want them in your car where the sun can beat down on them and stuff like that. So this is basically a stereo unit again. It does still have 4 separate speaker outputs, and I'll be demonstrating that, but the tape is strictly a stereo tape player now. So now we're going to go ahead and turn it on, run it through its paces. Before we send her back, make sure everything works. Got it set to FM at the moment. And there's our little FM stereo light. So we're just going to go on down the dial, make sure we pick up a good 25 or 30 FM stations.
Had a theme song, and not many TV show that Bojack starred in. It hit you in your heart.
Did he mean to get...
Or California's high cost.
Now, and they are desperate to find a way to...
Music, and we play it all day and night.
Don't get me wrong. It's an available all-wheel drive. The capable and versatile college. Excuse me.
Yep, caught lying.
There's 20 so far.
Let's go to Shelley now.
Christmas on them.
Right.
But look.
Because there's 28 or 29 FM stations, which is pretty typical. Now we'll switch it to AM and make sure that works. Make sure that still works.
Have a helmet, then we.
A lot of the stat and drug research on. And
There's one station that we get. Should get 2 more.
how to bring our best.
There's the other one. And now our strong AM station.
Left wing, a console to do the dash LED.
And there's our pretty strong AM station there in this area. And there's another one.
I brought with me several photos.
So this one actually picks up more AM stations than most. So we'll switch it back to FM. And now we're going to try the tape function. And you know what? I'm going to demonstrate. Now this unit did have both a left-right balance and a front-rear fader on the right, without the button pressed in, it would adjust your front rear fader, and with it pushed in and turning at the same time, you would adjust your left-right balance. Well, as I've mentioned in several of my videos, fader controls usually don't last very long, so I don't reuse them, and the balance control in this unit is a little bit questionable as well. So now we've got both of those functions in the tone control. We use the tone control to adjust both our left-right balance and our front-rear fade. So I'm going to demonstrate that right now. To adjust our front-rear fade direction, we rotate the control to the center first, the tone control, and then we give it 2 turns to the right, and we listen for some beeps, and that lets us know that it's ready to adjust the front-rear fade. So let's go ahead and let's move to our output level meters. Put the unit in the upper left-hand corner. There we are. Okay, now I'm going to activate the front rear fader by turning the tone control twice to the right. So here we go. Okay, there's our beeps. Okay, and now this tone control is adjusting our front rear balance. We got front only, rear only, front, rear. Okay, I'm going to center the speakers pretty well, and I'm going to stop adjusting it, and after about 1 second, you hear a single beep letting you know that setting has been saved, and this is once again just the tone control. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing, except I'm going to activate the left-right balance control. Same procedure, except we rotate our tone control twice to the left. So here we go. There's our beeps. And now this control is adjusting the left-right speaker balance. As you can see, right only, left only, right only. Okay, I'm going to center the speakers, take my hand off the control, and there's our single beep letting us know that that setting has been saved, and this is once again just the tone control. Okay, last thing to check is the 8-track function, so let's pop in some Temptations. One of my favorites. We don't need the meters anymore. Pop in some Temptations. Gonna switch tracks a bunch of times. Nice bright sounding 8-track. It has my special tape head preamp installed in place of the original. Okay, I'm going to pull our tape out. Radio should come back. And there's our radio back. And that completes the testing. This customer did not request an auxiliary input, so we don't have to test that. And so we've confirmed that the AM, FM, and 8-track are all working correctly. And of course, we lose the quadraphonic function, which is really kind of a moot point with a car unit, considering how much quad tapes cost these days. And it's just it is doable, but it's really financially kind of silly, and it's also pretty impractical. And I'm not even sure if we could fit 2 entire conversion modules into this unit here. So that's what I generally do on a quad unit that I'm doing a conversion on. Is we just modify the 8-track section to play only stereo tapes, and that ensures that everything's working correctly and that we don't have any additional complications. So on that note, I'm going to go back to me if I can find me. And I am Barry with Barry's 8-track and classic car radio repair. Needless to say, if you have an 8-track player either for home or for car use, I'm your guy. You can reach me directly at 928-533-9666. Now, this customer requested that the conversion be wired to his original connectors, which is a common ground configuration, so we don't get that massive boost in output power that we normally would if the customer was willing to run some new speaker wiring and have 2 separate wire seat speakers. So this unit has roughly the same output power as the original radio did, but the FM reception is much better, and the 8-track section sounds much brighter because I replaced the original preamp with my own special design that's designed to bring out the brightness and the lost treble over the years with the 8-track tape format. So my website is in the description below. Thank you very much for watching and listening, and we'll see you next time.